I spent 35 years working for the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA. I tracked hurricanes in the Gulf, nor'easters in the Atlantic, and typhoons in the Pacific. I know that barometric pressure doesn't lie. I know that a low-pressure system leaves a signature that no amount of Photoshop can hide. So when Captain David Thorne, a rugged oil rig engineer stationed on the Deepwater Titan in the North Sea, messaged me in a panic, claiming a Category 1 hurricane had destroyed their communications tower, I didn't reach for my credit card. I reached for my iPad. He wanted $18,000 for an emergency satellite link to call a rescue helicopter. He sent me audio of the wind howling. He sent me videos of waves crashing over the deck. It was terrifying. It was designed to make a woman panic. But there was one problem. I opened my professional marine weather dashboard. The barometric pressure at his alleged coordinates was 1,020 millibars. High pressure. The wave height. 2 feet. The wind speed. 5 knots. The North Sea was as flat as a mirror. He wasn't fighting a storm. He was fighting me. And he was about to learn that you don't need a weatherman to know which way the wind blows, especially when you are the weatherman. Thank you for being here. I truly believe this story will help you, or help you save someone else, by recognizing the signs of a scammer. These are things we all need to know. So, this is the perfect moment. Hit the like button and subscribe. You guarantee you won't miss any of the upcoming stories without having to search for them. Now, back to it. Retirement in Portland is grey. I liked the rain. It was predictable. After my divorce, I found comfort in data. People lie, but isobars don't. If the pressure drops, rain comes. It's simple physics. I joined Silver Singles because my daughter, Emily, said I was becoming a hermit. Mom, you need to talk to someone who isn't a cloud formation. That's where I found David. Profile, name, Captain David Thorne, age, 58, occupation, offshore oil rig engineer / contract manager, location, North Sea, deployed, / Houston, Texas, home, status, widower. His profile picture was striking. A man in a bright orange jumpsuit and hard hat, standing on a steel gantry high above a churning ocean. He looked capable. Dangerous, but safe. Like a storm shelter. We matched. His first message was respectful. Joyce. A meteorologist. That is impressive. Out here on the rig, the weather is our god. You must be a very powerful woman to understand it. It was a good line. He respected my intelligence. We moved to Google Chat because, as he explained, the rig's firewall blocks dating sites. It sounded plausible. Rig security is tight. For a month, he was the perfect gentleman. He sent me good morning messages at 2 a.m. my time, which aligned with North Sea time. He told me about the isolation. It's just steel and water, Joyce, he wrote. The noise never stops. The drill, the pumps. I miss silence. I miss a home-cooked meal. I miss a woman's touch. He was building the lonely hero narrative. He was the rugged provider suffering in a harsh environment to build a future. I have one last contract, he told me. This job pays $2.5 million. Once I finish this drill, I retire. I'm buying a cabin in Oregon. Maybe you could show me the best spots. I found myself smiling at my phone. I checked the weather in the North Sea occasionally, just out of habit. Looks like a bit of chop today, David, I'd text him. Wind from the northeast. Yes, he'd reply. It's freezing. You really are a witch with the weather. He validated my skills. It made me trust him. But looking back, his answers were always vague. He never gave specific wave heights. He never talked about knots or swells. He just said, it's cold, or it's rough. I should have noticed the lack of technical vocabulary. But I was lonely. And low pressure makes you vulnerable. The crisis didn't happen overnight. He seeded it carefully. The equipment is old, he complained on a Monday. The main satellite dish is rusting. The company is too cheap to replace it. If we get a big storm, we could go dark. Can't you use the backup radio? I asked. The backup is short range only, he said. We are 200 miles out. If the satellite goes, we are alone. He was setting the stage for isolation. The action of ruin in romance scams always requires cutting the victim off from logic or help. Then, on Thursday, the tone changed. Joyce, the barometer is dropping, he texted. The captain says a massive depression is forming. They are calling it Storm Hector. I frowned. I pulled up my NOAA dashboard. I looked at the global models, GFS and ECMWF. There was no Storm Hector. There was a mild low-pressure system moving over Iceland, but nothing near the North Sea oil fields. I don't see it on the charts, David, I typed. It looks clear south of Norway. The charts are wrong, he insisted. Local conditions are changing fast. It's a microburst. The waves are already 30 feet. The rig is shaking. I hesitated. Microbursts happen. Local anomalies happen. Maybe he was right. Maybe the satellites missed it. I wanted to believe him. I wanted to worry about him. Stay safe, I typed. Lock down the hatches. I will, he said. But pray for us. If the comms go down. I just want you to know, Joyce. You are the best thing that happened to me in 10 years. It was the hook. The emotional anchor. He went offline for 6 hours. I spent those 6 hours refreshing my weather apps. Nothing showed up. The wave buoys in the North Sea were reporting 1.5 meters, 4 feet. Why would he lie about the weather? Unless. At 3 a.m., my phone rang. It was a WhatsApp audio call. I answered, groggy and scared. David. The sound that came through the speaker was terrifying. Wind was screaming. Metal was screeching against metal. I heard men shouting in the distance. It sounded like the soundtrack of The Perfect Storm. Joyce. David yelled over the noise. It's hitting us. The tower is gone. We lost the main antenna. I'm on the emergency backup handset. David, are you okay? No. A wave took out the generator. We are flooding in the lower deck. We need to evacuate the crew. But the company radio is dead. Call the Coast Guard. I shouted. I can't, he screamed. The emergency beacon is malfunctioning. Listen to me, Joyce. I have a private satellite link on my laptop, but it's pay-as-you-go data. It ran out of credits. I need to top it up to send the distress signal to the helicopter base in Aberdeen. Top it up? I asked, confusion cutting through my sleep. Yes. It's a maritime comms link. It costs $50 per megabyte. I need to download the rescue patch and send the coordinates. It will cost $18,000 to get enough bandwidth for the rescue team to lock on. I can't access my bank. Because the server is underwater. Joyce, you have to help me. The men are screaming. The audio was intense. The wind howled. $18,000? I asked. For data? Yes. Lives are at stake. I will wire it back to you tomorrow plus $50,000. Just go to the Bitcoin ATM. Or send a wire to the data provider. Hurry. The water is rising. He hung up. Or the connection failed. I sat in the dark, my heart pounding. $18,000. Rescue helicopters. Flooding. It was a movie script. But then, I stood up and walked to my home office. I turned on my triple monitor setup. I didn't log into my bank. I logged into windy.com. I logged into marine traffic. I logged into the National Data Buoy Center. I located the Deepwater Titan, or where rigs usually sit in that field. Wind speed, 4 knots, light breeze. Wave height, 2 feet. Precipitation. None. Visibility. 10 miles. There was no storm. There was no microburst. The sun was shining in the North Sea. I pulled up the audio file of the call. My phone automatically recorded WhatsApp calls. I listened to the background noise. The wind looped every 10 seconds. It was a sound effect track. And this screeching metal. It sounded exactly like a stock sound effect I had heard in a disaster documentary. He wasn't on a sinking rig. He was in a quiet room, playing a YouTube video of a storm into his microphone. The rage didn't hit me hot. It hit me cold. He tried to use my fear for his life to rob me. He claimed there was a storm. But he forgot I was a meteorologist. Did you hear the loop? Real wind is chaotic. Fake wind repeats. He played a sound effect to trigger her adrenaline. Adrenaline kills critical thinking. But Joyce checked the data. Data is the antidote to fear. If you love how she fact-checked his disaster, hit the like button. I looked at the calm blue map on my screen. He wanted $18,000 for satellite data. I decided to give him some data, but not the kind he could spend. I messaged him back. David. Oh my God. I'm getting my keys. But the Bitcoin ATM has a limit. Can I send the money directly to the satellite provider's bank account? It will be faster. I was baiting him. I wanted the account number. I wanted to know where the money was really going. His reply came instantly. Yes. You are saving us. Here is the account for the maritime data agent. Duh. He sent the details. It wasn't a bank in Scotland. It wasn't a bank in Aberdeen. It was a bank in Dallas, Texas. And the account holder wasn't a satellite company. It was Sarah Jenkins, Nails and Beauty. I looked at the bank details on my screen. Bank. Chase Bank. Dallas, Texas. Account name. Sarah Jenkins, Nails and Beauty. Routing. Number account. Number. David was still messaging me, maintaining the illusion of the crisis. Joyce. Did you send it? The water is reaching the server room. The signal is fading. He was trying to induce panic. Panic makes people skip steps. It makes them ignore the name on the account. Why would a maritime satellite data provider be a nail salon in Texas? A panicked person doesn't ask that. But I wasn't panicked. I was observing. I needed to buy time to investigate Sarah Jenkins. If I just stopped replying, he would realize I was on to him. I needed to act like a confused, eager, but technically incompetent victim. David, I typed, deliberately making typos to look flustered. I am at the bank website. But there is an error. It asks for a cloud authorization code for international data vendors. What code? He replied instantly. There is no code. Just press send. No, it's a new NOAA regulation, I lied. Because of the storm interference you mentioned, the bank says the satellite uplink needs a handshake protocol. Does your data provider use Cumulus 12 or Stratus 9 encryption? I was throwing meteorological cloud terms at him mixed with tech babble. The typing bubble paused. He was likely asking his supervisor in the call center. It is Stratus 9. Yes. Select that. Okay, I wrote. But now it wants the barometric override key. Since you are in a low pressure zone, the storm, the bank needs to verify the pressure reading to release the funds. What is the millibar reading on your bridge right now? I was testing him. If he was really on a rig in a storm, he would look at the barometer and say 980 millibars. If he was a scammer in a sunny room, he would guess. It is 1050, he guessed. I smirked. 1050 millibars is extremely high pressure. It means clear blue skies and calm winds. He had just claimed he was in a hurricane while giving me the reading for a perfect summer day. 1050. I typed. That's strange. The system says that's fair weather. Are you sure? The equipment is broken, he shouted via text. Just put 1,000. Please, Joyce. The men are crying. Okay. I'm trying. It says, processing, estimated wait time 2 hours. I'm watching the spinning wheel. I wasn't watching anything. I was opening a new browser tab to search for Sarah Jenkins Nails Dallas. Did you see what she did? She used his own lie against him. He claimed there was a storm, so she asked for storm data. When he gave the wrong number, 1050 MB, he confirmed he wasn't there. Never be afraid to ask technical questions. Scammers hate details. If you love seeing Joyce play with her food, hit the like button. I found her easily. Sarah's Nails and Spa, in a strip mall in Dallas. There was a Facebook page. A phone number. I looked at her photos. She was a woman in her 50s, smiling, holding up manicured hands. She looked kind. She looked like a grandmother. She didn't look like a member of an international crime syndicate. This was the mule. Most mules don't know they are mules. They are victims of a different romance scam. They think they are helping their boyfriend, who is usually a civil engineer or marine, by receiving business funds, because he can't use his bank. The scammer, David, was likely playing 2 women at once. He was David the oil rig engineer to me, and probably Michael the architect to Sarah. I decided to call her. I dialed the number on the nail salon's Facebook page. Sarah's Nails, this is Sarah, a cheerful voice answered with a Texas twang. Hi Sarah, I said. My name is Joyce. I'm calling from Portland. I think we might have a mutual acquaintance. Oh. She sounded confused. I don't know anyone in Portland, Hon. Unless you're a friend of Michael's? Michael. There it was. Who is Michael? I asked gently. Michael is my fiancé, Sarah said, a note of pride in her voice. He's an architect. He's building a hotel in Dubai. Do you know him? My heart broke for her. She was deeper in the web than I was. She was calling him her fiancé. Sarah, I said, keeping my voice steady. I don't know Michael. But I know a man named David Thorne. He claims to be on an oil rig in the North Sea. Okay. Sarah sounded wary now. What does that have to do with me? David told me to wire $18,000 to your bank account today. He said you were a satellite data agent. Silence. Long. Heavy silence. That's not right, Sarah said slowly. Michael told me. Michael said his business partner, a man named Mr. Smith, would be sending me some money today. For the marble. For the hotel floor. The marble, I repeated. Sarah, listen to me carefully. There is no marble. There is no hotel. And there is no oil rig. Excuse me. Her voice got sharp. Who are you? Are you trying to mess with my business? I'm a meteorologist, Sarah. And right now, I'm trying to stop you from committing a felony. The man you call Michael and the man I call David, they are the same person. Or at least, they work in the same room. They are using your bank account to launder stolen money. You're crazy, Sarah snapped. Michael loves me. We video chat. Does the video lag? I asked. Does the audio not match his lips? Does he ever ask you to wave your hand to prove it's live? She didn't answer. I heard her breathing catch. Sarah, I said softly. I didn't send the $18,000. I stopped it. But if I had sent it, and if you had forwarded it to Michael, the FBI would be knocking on your salon door next week, not me. You would be the one going to jail for wire fraud. I don't believe you, she whispered. But the conviction was gone. Test him, I said. Ask Michael why a woman named Joyce in Portland was supposed to send money for satellite data instead of marble. Ask him why the stories don't match. I stayed on the line while Sarah processed this. I could hear the background noise of her salon, blow dryers, chatter. Real life. He sent me a ring, Sarah said weakly. It's in the mail. It's fake, Sarah. It's $10 brass. He needs the money for the customs fee on the marble, she recited the script. He said if I help him, we can retire in Florida. He told me we were retiring in Oregon, I said. He recycles the dreams, Sarah. He just changes the location. She started to cry. Soft, stifled sobs. I sent him $5,000 of my own money last month, she admitted. For a permit. I'm sorry, I said. That money is gone. But you can save yourself now. Do not accept any wires into your account. If money appears, do not touch it. Go to the bank and report it as fraud. He's going to be so angry, she said, fear creeping into her voice. He gets mean when the money is late. I know, I said. David is screaming at me right now on text. He says his men are drowning. Michael said the workers would starve if I didn't pay the fee, Sarah said. It was the same psychological torture. Guilt. Urgency. Sarah, I said. We are going to stop them. But I need you to do something brave. What? Don't tell him you know yet. Tell him the money from Portland hasn't arrived. Tell him the bank is doing a verification. Stall him. I need 24 hours to track his location. I can't, she panicked. I'm scared. You can, I said. You're a business owner. You're strong. Just tell him, bank delay. That's it. Can you do that for me? Okay, she whispered. Bank delay. I hung up. I looked at my computer. David had sent 10 more messages. Joyce. Why is it taking so long? The helicopter pilot is waiting for the signal. Do you want blood on your hands? He was desperate. He had 2 victims on the hook, me as the payer, Sarah as the launderer, and both of us were stalling. The pressure in his boiler room must have been immense. I decided to reply. I needed to keep him focused on me so he wouldn't harass Sarah. David, I typed. Good news. The cloud code cleared. The bank says the money is on the way to Sarah Jenkins. It should be there in 30 minutes. Finally, he replied. Thank God. You are a savior. I had lied. No money was moving. But now, he would be checking Sarah's account every minute. He would be distracted. And while he was distracted, I was going to find out exactly where the North Sea really was. I opened a new tool on my computer. During my time at NOAA, we sometimes had to track unauthorized radio signals from vessels illegally fishing in protected waters. I knew a few tricks about digital triangulation. David had sent me a video file earlier, the storm video. Most people think metadata is just GPS. But video files contain more than that. They contain audio frequencies. I extracted the audio track from his storm video. I ran a spectral analysis. Underneath the fake wind noise, there was a low hum. A 50 Hz hum. The electrical grid in the US is 60 Hz. The electrical grid in the UK, North Sea, is 50 Hz. So he could be in Europe. Or Africa. But then I saw a spike in the audio spectrum at a specific frequency. A high-pitched chirp. It was a bird. I isolated the sound. Chirp chirp trill. I uploaded the sound clip to an ornithology database, BirdNet. The result came back in seconds. Species, Pycnonotus barbatus, common bulbul. Habitat, widespread in Africa. Not found in the North Sea. Unless a tropical bird was flying through a hurricane in the Arctic, David wasn't on a rig. He was in a room with an open window in Nigeria or Ghana. And now, I was going to send him a weather report he wouldn't forget. Here is part 3 of 6 of the story. In this part, Joyce deploys her trap. She uses the scammer's greed against him, disguising a digital tracking tool as the one thing he wants most: money. The narrative shifts from defensive investigation to offensive cyber tactics, using weather metaphors to describe the tightening net. I opened my document editor. I wasn't writing a love letter. I was drafting a fake federal document. I found an old template for a NOAA/Maritime Emergency Fund transfer form. I added the Chase Bank logo. I added a high-priority red stamp. It looked official. It looked bureaucratic. It looked like the kind of paperwork that stands between a man and $18,000. I created a link using Canary tokens, a tool similar to Grabify but often used by IT professionals to detect breaches. I embedded the token into a digital signature field at the bottom of the PDF. If he opened the document and clicked "Sign here" on his phone, it would ping my dashboard with his metadata. I saved the file as wire_transfer_final PDF. I went back to the chat with David. He was frantic. Joyce. Sarah says she sees nothing. The account is empty. Are you playing games with me? The water is at my ankles. I typed back, calm and collected. David, calm down. I just got off the phone with the International Wire Desk. Because the amount is over $10,000 and the destination is a beauty salon, the fraud algorithm paused it. They need a digital handshake from the recipient or the beneficiary. What handshake? He demanded. They need you to sign the release form. I've attached it. Open it. Click the yellow "Sign Here" box at the bottom, and the funds release instantly. It's a new security protocol. I attached the weaponized PDF. Hurry. David. The bank closes in 10 minutes. If you don't sign, the money bounces back to me and we have to wait until Monday. And you said the rig won't last that long. I used his own urgency against him. If he was really on a rig in a storm, he wouldn't have the bandwidth to open a PDF. If he was in a cafe in Nigeria, he would click it instantly. This is the honeypot technique. Scammers are trained to click on anything that looks like a receipt or money. Joyce wrapped a digital tracking device in the packaging of his own greed. Never open attachments from strangers. And if you're a scammer, definitely don't open one from a meteorologist. If you're ready for the reveal, hit the like button. I switched screens to my Canary console. It was a map of the world. Currently blank. Waiting for signal. 1 minute passed. 2 minutes. David was probably struggling with his slow internet connection, cursing the file size. Then, a red dot appeared on the map. Ping. Alert. Token triggered. I zoomed in. The dot wasn't in the North Sea. It wasn't in Scotland. It was deep in West Africa. Location: Benin City, Edo State, Nigeria. ISP: Smile Communications Nigeria. Device: Technocommon 19, Android. Browser user agent: Chrome Mobile. I smiled. A techno phone. It's a popular brand in Africa, almost unheard of in the UK or US. A North Sea oil rig engineer making $200,000 a year does not use a $150 Android phone. And he certainly doesn't connect via Smile Communications Nigeria. I took a screenshot. Exhibit B. Then I looked at the other data the token provided. Battery level: 14%. Orientation: portrait. System language: English, UK. He was real. He was there. And he had just signed his own warrant. I went back to the chat. He messaged me. I clicked it. It just opened a white page. Did it work? Did you get the signature? He was panicked. The token didn't actually open a document. It just fired the signal. I got it, I typed. The signal is very clear, David. Crystal clear. Good. So the money is moving. No, I wrote. But I am moving. I'm moving my mouse over your location on Google Earth. I didn't give him time to process. I launched the offensive. David, I typed. According to my radar, the weather in Benin City, Nigeria is currently 85 degrees Fahrenheit with 80% humidity. No storms. Just a mild breeze. The typing bubble appeared. Then stopped. What are you talking about? He feigned confusion. I am in the North Sea. No, you aren't, I replied. You are using a Techno Common 19 phone. You have 14% battery left. You might want to find a charger before you try to scam anyone else. You are crazy, he shouted, caps lock on. I am a captain. How dare you? And another thing, I continued, relentless. The bird in your video? The one chirping in the background of the hurricane? That's a common bulbul. It's an African songbird. It doesn't live in the ocean, David. Unless it has scuba gear. I sent him the screenshot of the map with the red dot over Benin City. Here you are. I see you are near the University of Benin. Are you a student? Or just a dropout? The silence stretched for a full minute. Then, the tone changed. The captain vanished. The thug appeared. You think you are smart, old woman, he texted. You think you can stop me? I have your phone number. I have your photos. I will send your picture to voodoo priests. You will never sleep again. Voodoo. The classic threat when the script fails. I deal with hurricanes, David, I typed back. Real storms. Nature's wrath. Do you think I'm afraid of a boy with a cheap phone and a bird in his window? I will hurt you, he threatened. I have people in America. Sarah in Dallas. She works for me. She will find you. He tried to play the Sarah card. He didn't know I had already flipped her. Sarah? I asked. You mean the nail tech you lied to? The woman you told was marrying an architect named Michael? I spoke to her an hour ago. She knows everything. She's currently at her bank flagging your account as fraudulent. This was the blow that hurt him. I wasn't just a lost victim. I was a saboteur. I had cost him his mule. You lie, he screamed. Sarah loves me. Sarah loves Michael, I corrected. She hates you. And right now, she is handing over your chat logs to the Secret Service field office in Dallas. He blocked me. Instantly. His profile photo vanished. His last scene went blank. I sat back, feeling the adrenaline fade. I had won. I had exposed him, humiliated him, and cut off his money supply. But then, my phone rang. It was Sarah from Dallas. Joyce. She was crying. He just called me. He's furious. He said he knows I talked to you. He said I have to pay him the $18,000 from my own pocket or he will release the videos. What videos, Sarah? The videos. Private videos. We did video calls. Intimate ones. He recorded them. My stomach dropped. This wasn't just a financial scam anymore. It was sextortion. David wasn't done. He had a backup plan. He sent me a screenshot, Sarah sobbed into the phone. It's from a video call we had last month. He says he's going to post it on my business page. He's going to send it to my church group. Joyce, I can't live with that. I have to pay him. Sarah, stop, I said, my voice cutting through her panic like a cold front. Listen to me. Do not pay him a single cent. But my reputation. If you pay him $18,000 today, he will ask for $20,000 next week, I explained, falling back on the cold logic of data. In blackmail, payment doesn't buy silence. It only rents it for a very short time. Once you pay, you confirm that the leverage works. You become a permanent income stream. So I just let him ruin me? No, I said. We neutralize the weapon. Where did he threaten to post it? Facebook. And Instagram. Good, I said. Those platforms have hash matching technology. We can block the video before he even uploads it. How? It's called stopandc2.org, I told her. It's a tool developed to stop non-consensual intimate images. You don't have to send the video to anyone. The tool scans it on your device, creates a digital fingerprint, a hash, and sends that code to Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. If anyone tries to upload a file matching that fingerprint, the upload fails instantly. Sarah went silent. I can do that. Yes. We are going to vaccinate the internet against your video. He can try to post it, but it will just hit a firewall. This is vital information. Sextortion relies on the victim feeling helpless and alone. But tools like Stop NCII exist to give you power back without exposing you further. You don't have to pay. You don't have to hide. If you think more women need to know about this tool, hit the like button right now. I stayed on the line with Sarah for an hour. I walked her through the process. She found the video file on her phone, which he had sent back to her as a threat. She generated the hash. She submitted it. It's done, she said, her voice trembling but stronger. The hash is registered. Good, I said. Now we deal with him. He's expecting you to beg. Instead, you're going to threaten him. Threaten him? He's in Nigeria. Yes. And Nigeria has the Cybercrime Act of 2015. Specifically, Section 24 regarding cyberstalking and blackmail. It carries a 10-year prison sentence. And unlike some laws, the EFCC, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, in Nigeria actually raids these guys if they get a verified tip from a US Secret Service. What do I say? Text him this, I dictated. I have reported this extortion attempt to the FBI and the Nigerian EFCC. The video hash has been registered with Meta and Google for auto-blocking. If you attempt to upload it, your account will be flagged, your device ID will be permanently banned, and your location will be sent to the Lagos field office. Post it. I don't care. I am not paying. I can't say that, Sarah whispered. You have to, I said. Bullies only respect strength. Show him you aren't afraid, and he will move on to an easier target. It's simple predator dynamics. Sarah took a deep breath. Okay. I'm sending it. I waited. The silence stretched. Then, Sarah gasped. What happened? I asked. He replied, she said. He sent a thumbs up emoji. And then blocked. He blocked you. Yes. His profile is gone. I exhaled. He folded. He realized the juice wasn't worth the squeeze. You're safe, Sarah. She started crying again, but this time it was relief. Thank you, Joyce. You saved my life. I was thinking of doing something stupid. You saved yourself, I said. Now, go delete him. Delete everything. And Sarah, change your passwords. I hung up the phone. The house was quiet again. The storm was over. David, or whatever his name was, had failed. He didn't get the money from me. He didn't get the money from Sarah. And he couldn't use his nuclear option. I looked at my computer screens. The weather map of the North Sea was still open. Still calm. Still blue. I felt a strange sense of kinship with the ocean. It looks peaceful on the surface, but underneath, there are currents that can drag you down. I had won. But I was left with a lingering question. Who was the man in the photos? The man in the orange jumpsuit on the rig. The man with the kind eyes and the hard hat. He wasn't David. He wasn't a scammer. He was a real person whose face had been stolen to terrorize women. I opened the original photo David had sent me. I cropped it. I ran it through PimEyes, facial recognition search. The results populated instantly. There were hundreds of matches. But they weren't scam warnings. They were articles. Interview with Offshore Installation Manager, Captain Lars Jensen. North Sea Safety Awards 2021, Lars Jensen. He was real. His name was Lars Jensen. He was Norwegian. And he actually did work on an oil rig in the North Sea. The scammer hadn't just stolen a photo, he had stolen a life. I found Lars's LinkedIn profile. He looked serious. Professional. I hesitated. Should I tell him? Most people would say no. Leave him alone. But I remembered how I felt when I realized my trust had been violated. Lars was a victim too. His reputation was being used to extort money and demand sex tapes. I clicked, connect. I wrote a note. Dear Captain Jensen, I am a retired meteorologist in Oregon. I believe your identity is being used in a massive romance scam operation targeting American women. I have evidence. I thought you should know. I hit send. I didn't expect a reply. He was a busy man on a rig. But the next morning, my phone rang. It was a video call. From Lars Jensen. I answered. The face on the screen was the real deal. High definition. No lag. The background wasn't a fake storm. It was the clean white interior of a ship's office. Ms. Joyce, he said. His voice was deep, with a thick Norwegian accent. Thank you for your message. You are the first person to actually find me. I have been trying to stop these bastards for 2 years. He looked tired. They used my face to steal a woman's pension in Germany last month, he said. I want to help you catch them. I have logs. I have IP addresses from when they tried to hack me. It is a nightmare, Captain Lars Jensen said, rubbing his eyes on the high-definition video feed. I have a wife. I have daughters. Every week, a woman finds my private Facebook and sends me screenshots of our conversations. They call me a thief. My wife. She understands now, but at first, it almost destroyed my marriage. I'm sorry, Lars, I said. I know how convincing they are. But it is not just the women. Lars leaned closer to the camera. 2 months ago, our corporate IT security detected a breach. Someone used a clone of my credentials to try and authorize a $200,000 purchase order for drilling equipment from a vendor in Turkey. Business email compromise, I said. I knew the term from the news. Exactly. The IP address that tried to hack our procurement system matched the IP address of the romance scammer, who was messaging a woman in Germany. It is the same ring, Joyce. They use the women to get money, and they use my face to try and rob the oil company. It made perfect sense. The David persona was just one tentacle of a larger beast. They were harvesting money from every possible angle. Do you have the logs? I asked. The IP addresses from the corporate hack. Yes. Our security team traced them to a server cluster. But we cannot shut it down because it is behind a bulletproof hosting service in Eastern Europe. The police say they need a direct financial link to a person to issue a warrant. I smiled. I have a financial link. I have the bank account of the mule in Dallas, Sarah. And I have the Bitcoin wallet David tried to make me use. Lars's eyes lit up. If we combine your financial data with my corporate server logs, we can map the entire network. We can do better than map it, I said. We can trap them. Lars, they think you are their golden goose. They are using your face because it works. What if the real Lars Jensen offered them a deal? A deal. We bait the boss, I said. We stop fighting the foot soldiers like David. We go for the general. This is the reality of identity theft. It doesn't just hurt the person being scammed. It tortures the person whose face is stolen. Lars is a victim too. By joining forces, Joyce and Lars are turning the scammer's greatest asset, the stolen identity, into a Trojan horse. If you want to see them turn the tables, hit the like button. We formulated the plan. Scammers are greedy, but they are also paranoid. To lure the boss out, we had to offer something worth the risk. We decided to use a ransom strategy. Lars used his official, verified Instagram account. He sent a direct message to the fake David profile that was still active, blocking me didn't mean he deleted the account. The message: to the operator of this account, I know you are impersonating me. I don't care about the women. But you have a file that belongs to my company. The drilling schematic 44B. I am willing to buy it back to prevent a leak. I will pay $50,000 USDT. Have your supervisor contact me at this encrypted email. No games. It was a bluff. There was no schematic. But we knew they had tried to hack the company. The mention of a specific, technical file would make them panic and greedy. They would think they accidentally stole something valuable during their failed hack. We waited. 3 hours later, an email arrived at the address we set up. Sender: consultant_omega_secure@protonmail.com. Subject: Settlement. Captain Jensen. We have the file. The price is $100,000. Payment to the following wallet immediately, or we release the data to your competitors. They took the bait. They didn't have the file, but they were pretending they did to get the cash. A scammer will always scam. We have them, I told Lars over the phone. Now what? Now we trace the wallet, I said. But we don't just trace it. We taint it. I contacted Ben, my IT friend from San Diego, Story 91 crossover. Ben, I said, I have a wallet address for a major syndicate. Can we flag it? If you have a police report, Ben said, we can tag it on Chainalysis and Etherscan. Once it's tagged as blackmail/extortion, no major exchange will touch it. Their money becomes radioactive. Do it, I said. And Ben, can you see where the wallet empties? Ben ran the trace. It's a funnel wallet, Ben said. It collects from victims and sends to a master account. And that master account, hello. What? The master account just made a massive payment to a real estate development firm in Dubai. Dubai. The playground of the Yahoo boys, who make it big. The money wasn't going to a hut in Nigeria. It was buying condos in the UAE. We have a physical asset, I said. Real estate. I forwarded the data to Lars. Lars, I said. Your company has lawyers in Dubai, right? We have an entire division, Lars said, his voice cold. And we have a very good relationship with the Dubai police. Give them the wallet hash, I said. Tell them it's proceeds of corporate espionage. They freeze assets faster than anyone in the world. The next 24 hours were a blur of international coordination. Lars's corporate legal team filed an emergency motion in Dubai. I filed a supplementary report with the FBI, linking the Sarah Jenkins Mule account to the Dubai crypto wallet. Then we watched. We couldn't see the police raid, but we could see the blockchain. Suddenly, the master wallet tried to move $2 million. Transaction failed. It tried again. Transaction failed. The exchanges had blacklisted them. The Dubai authorities had frozen the endpoint. The money was trapped. Lars called me. Joyce. It worked. The Dubai police raided the apartment complex an hour ago. They arrested 4 men. One of them had my photos on his wall like a shrine. They call him the director. The director, I whispered. Is he the one who threatened me? He is the one who ordered it. He is the one who bought the ads. He is the storm maker. And you just sank his ship. I looked at my weather map. The North Sea was still calm. But in Dubai, a hurricane had just made landfall. I thought it was over. The money was frozen. The boss was in custody. But then, I received a letter in the mail. It wasn't a threat. It wasn't a scam. It was an invitation. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, invites you to speak at the annual Cybersecurity Summit. They wanted me to talk about social engineering and the human element. I smiled. I was going back to work. But before I packed my bags, I had one last message to send. To Sarah in Dallas. I needed to make sure she was ready to weather the storm of her own legal battle. But when I called her, she gave me news that changed the entire forecast. "I'm not going to jail, Joyce," Sarah said, her voice sounding clearer and lighter than I had ever heard it. "The DA called me this morning. They are dropping the charges." I let out a breath I had been holding for weeks. "That's wonderful, Sarah. But how?" "Because I kept the receipts," she laughed, a sound of pure relief. "Just like you told me. I showed them the texts where Michael threatened me. I showed them the fake invoices. And because I helped them trap the courier who came to pick up the cash last week, they classified me as a confidential informant, not a co-conspirator." "You caught a courier?" "Yeah. A guy in a black hoodie came to the salon. I was terrified. But I had two plainclothes officers sitting in the pedicure chairs pretending to be customers. The moment he took the envelope, they swarmed him." I smiled. Sarah, the nail technician who was afraid of her own shadow, had run a sting operation in her own shop. "I renamed the salon," Sarah added. "It's not Sarah's Nails anymore. It's New Beginnings Spa." "And Joyce." I put a sign on the register. "We do not accept wire transfers for fiancés." "Good policy," I said. "Thank you," she whispered. "You didn't have to call me. You could have just blocked me and let me drown. You saved my life." "We weather the storm together, Sarah," I said. "That's the rule. This is the most important lesson. When you discover a scam, your first instinct is to run." But Joyce stayed. She reached out to the other victim. Because she did, Sarah is a free woman today instead of a felon. Kindness is a superpower. If you agree that we need to look out for each other, hit the like button. 2 weeks later, I stood at the podium in the NOAA Auditorium in Washington, D.C. The room was filled with meteorologists, data scientists, and FBI cyber agents. Behind me on the giant screen was a side-by-side image. On the left, a hurricane chart showing a Category 5 storm. On the right, a chat log of a romance scammer. "Predicting the weather is about recognizing patterns," I began, my voice steady and amplified. "We look for a drop in pressure. We look for wind shear. We look for the conditions that create chaos." I clicked the clicker. The screen changed to the fake photo of David on the rig. "Social engineering is no different," I continued. "The scammer creates an artificial low-pressure system in your life. He creates isolation. He creates urgency. He creates a storm where there isn't one, just to make you panic." I looked out at the audience. I saw nods of recognition. I spent 40 years tracking storms on radar. But the most dangerous storms aren't the ones that show up on satellite. They are the ones that whisper to you in the middle of the night, telling you that you are alone, and that only money can save you. I paused. We cannot stop the storms from forming. Greed is a force of nature. But we can build better warnings. We can teach people to check the barometer. And we can remind them that if the sky is blue, but a man tells you it's raining, you don't need an umbrella. You need a lawyer. The applause was thunderous. It washed over me, warm and validating. I wasn't just a retired woman with a cat and a computer anymore. I was an expert. After the speech, Captain Lars Jensen, the real one, video called me. He was back on his rig in the North Sea. "I saw the live stream, Joyce," he shouted over the roar of the real ocean. "Brilliant. The boys on the rig are cheering for you." "Stay safe out there, Lars," I smiled. "Real waves this time?" "Real waves," he grinned. "And real friends." I walked out of the conference center into the DC afternoon. It was drizzling. A classic gray day. Most people opened their umbrellas and hurried inside. I didn't. I turned my face to the sky and let the rain wash over me. It felt cold. It felt wet. It felt real. And I would never settle for a fake forecast again. The truth is the only shelter that stands when the wind blows. Trust your instruments. Trust your gut. And never let anyone else dictate your weather. Real life has storms, but it also has rainbows, if you know where to look. Joyce proved that science, logic, and a little bit of stubbornness can defeat even the darkest deception. Because you watched until here, I know you value the truth. So you need to do 3 things. First, leave a powerful like. The YouTube algorithm needs to know that we prioritize facts over fear. Help this message reach the people who need it most. Second, subscribe and hit the bell. You guarantee a new story every week right in your feed. Here we bring the raw truth about relationships and money. Third, go down to the comments and tell us, has anyone ever tried to rush you into a decision? Did they create a fake emergency? Share your storm stories below. Remember, 87% of people watch and forget to subscribe. Don't be that person. Knowledge is your umbrella. Click subscribe now. Stay dry and stay sharp.